This story's poster wished to remain anonymous, so we're going to call him Randy. Randy and his trusty pack of seasoned hunter friends, Alex, Kyle, and Jeff, head out to the mountains of West Virginia for turkey hunting. Randy's buddy owns this awesome cabin with 2 rooms, a kitchen with a 19th century wood stove and an oven, and a back room with 2 bunk beds. They all bring turkey guns, basic 12 gauges, Mossbergs and Remingtons. Randy takes his Ruger AR-15 and brings his Glock 19X. Why? Because why not? They're in the mountains, so they're probably never going to see a turkey anyway, so might as well get in some target shooting. Day 1, they drink. That had always been the plan. Screw the turkeys, let's give them one more day to live. We have 6 cases of Miller High Life and a case of Old Granddad whiskey. Enough said. Day 2. Way early when Randy first wakes up to some shuffling and scratching noises outside. He blinks, looks around, trying to clear the whiskey fog. He sees Kyle on the floor, Alex on the bottom bunk under him, and Jeff in the bottom bunk across the room. He glances out the window and sees something. Doesn't really understand what he's seeing, but the closest thing his mind can equate it to is a shadow. Okay, it's just a shadow, so he goes back to sleep. As day 2 actually begins, they wake up, put on their hunting gear, and cook eggs and sausage gravy on the antique stove. They get their guns and head out for the hunt. Sun comes up, no turkeys. Sun starts to go down, no turkeys. They decide to call it a day, go back to the cabin, and grab some drinks. Less than 5 minutes from the cabin, they hear this roar. All 4 of them drop to the ground in some primeval, instinctual move and try to find cover from whatever this thing is. Randy and his friends gather up, and Jeff says, "I have no idea where the bear is, but it's gotta be close. Stay low, stay quiet, and move quickly." They all nod. Randy empties the buckshot out of his gun and reloads it with something a little more powerful. Every pump of the shells coming out and clunk of the shells going in sounds like a gunshot in the quiet woods around them. They make their way back to the cabin, every one of them saying to themselves the whole time, "It was just a bear, it was just a bear, it was just a bear." They all know that was no damn bear. They make it back to the cabin and are all pretty freaked out, but they don't see anything. That night, they're still pretty wired and on edge, but they are well armed inside and nothing else happens. They stay away from the whiskey and are only drinking water and beer. However, eventually, nature calls, and Alex needs to do something that requires a little more privacy. The cabin only has an outhouse. So Randy says, "Don't be scared. Just go. We'll cover ya." And that's the last thing Randy ever says to Alex. They watch it happen. Worse, they hear it happen. As a joke, half a joke, they open the window facing the outhouse to cover Alex. Nothing is supposed to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Randy, Jeff, and Kyle watch as Alex walks toward the outhouse when something leaps on him. Some shadow or a void lands on Alex and begins tearing at him. Shooting is Randy's hobby, and he's a great shot. And it takes him a second to recover from the shock of what he's seeing, but when he does, he opens fire, hitting this thing with every freaking shot. But it doesn't matter. It's not enough. Whatever that thing is, it drags Alex away, screaming until a savage crunch ends the screams. The 3 remaining friends stay up all night, guns pointed out the doors and windows. Randy's pretty sure they'd all wet themselves at some point. He did, because there was no way on this earth he was setting foot outside of that cabin. Day 3, they venture out, guns drawn. None of them are military trained, so they're not exactly SEAL Team 6, but they circle back to the outhouse in a loose triangle formation. But all they find is a lot of blood and a trail leading into the woods. They pack up their stuff in record time and drive back to town. Takes 2 hours of driving before they can even get a signal on their phones. They call 911 and tell them everything that happened. They never find Alex's body, besides the blood. And everybody says it was just a crazy random bear attack. Maybe it was, but that must be one bloodthirsty, indestructible bear.